In the year 3098, Earth was no longer alone in the universe. It was a proud member of the Galactic Council, a massive alliance of alien civilizations that ruled most of the known galaxy. For over 100 years, humans had worked side by side with aliens, trading, learning, growing. Earth had built stations on other planets, colonies in far-off star systems, and even shared soldiers with the Council's peacekeeping forces. Everything looked peaceful, everything looked strong. But peace is often a lie. It started slowly. First, the trade ships stopped coming. Then, the Council's envoys stopped responding to Earth's messages. One by one, the stars went quiet. There were no warnings, no announcements, just silence. Earth's leaders tried to contact their allies. No answers. Communication relays that connected Earth to the rest of the galaxy began to fail without explanation. Panic spread in the global command center. They checked the satellites, the deep space scanners, everything. But the signals weren't being blocked. They were simply gone. Then came the attacks. A small research outpost on the edge of human space was destroyed. No warning, no survivors. Just a burned shell floating in orbit. Soon after, a mining colony vanished. When a rescue team was sent, they found a crater where the colony used to be. The only clue was a strange mark burned into the ground, an alien symbol, not from any known species. Earth's leaders held emergency meetings. The people demanded answers. The Council still remained silent. One general, Admiral Roya Hale, stood before the United Earth Defense Council and spoke the words that chilled the room. This isn't a system error. This isn't a signal problem. This is abandonment. Many refused to believe her. Earth was part of the Council. They had rights. They had alliances. But the truth was cold and clear. The galaxy had turned its back. Humanity had been cut off. Earth began to prepare. Military factories reopened. Old warships were pulled out of the scrapyards and upgraded. New weapons were tested in secret. Scientists began researching experimental engines and cloaking fields. Earth had seen war before. It remembered how to fight. Still, the silence from the stars was louder than ever. And then, something strange happened. A signal. Weak, broken, old, but human. It was picked up by a listening station deep in the Antarctic wastes. The technician on duty almost dismissed it as static, but something in the code caught his attention. The pattern was familiar, something taught in ancient Earth space training. He ran it through an old decoder and froze. The message was clear. "We are alive. Epsilon Prime still stands. Earth, do you hear us?" The name hit the Defense Council like a shockwave. Epsilon Prime was one of the first human colonies sent into deep space nearly 300 years ago. Contact had been lost during a massive ion storm. Everyone believed the colony had been destroyed, but now, centuries later, it was calling for Earth. A team of analysts examined the signal. It was real, faint, but authentic. Somehow, the colony had survived. And more than that, it had technology Earth didn't recognize. A code encryption not used in any known human database. Something had changed out there. Admiral Hale gave the order to prepare a scout ship. Quiet. Fast. It would carry a team of specialists and diplomats. The mission? Make contact. But also, learn. How had Epsilon Prime survived when no one else had? And why were they calling now? As the scout ship prepared to leave, the stars above Earth remained cold. No council, no help, only the sound of engines starting in the dark. The launch was kept secret from the public. Most people still believed the council was watching. The truth would break their hearts, or start a war Earth wasn't ready for. But those in command knew. The silence was not peace. It was warning. The scout ship, named Pathfinder, left Earth's orbit and vanished into deep space, heading toward the unknown. Behind it, Earth waited in silence, watching the stars, listening for enemies or allies. Aboard the Pathfinder, Captain Elias Ward looked at the signal once more. His hands were steady, but his mind raced. If Epsilon Prime survived, what else? Did the galaxy hide? He looked out at the stars and whispered, "The galaxy turned away, but we didn't forget how to survive." Far away on a distant world, a set of eyes blinked as the Pathfinder moved closer. A voice, deep and full of age, spoke quietly into the dark. "They finally heard us. Now we see if they are still human, or something more." The silence from the stars was breaking, and something was listening. The scout ship Pathfinder moved through the darkness of deep space. For 10 days it followed the strange signal. Every second, the signal grew stronger. The path led far beyond known space into a sector marked on maps as Dead Zone. Captain Elias Ward stood at the front of the ship, staring at the strange readings. "This colony, it shouldn't be here," he said. Lieutenant Kara Juno, the ship's engineer, replied, "But it is, and someone there wants us to find them." The crew was nervous. Everyone had heard stories about lost colonies, vanished ships, dead planets. But this was different. The signal wasn't desperate. It was confident, powerful. On day 11, the Pathfinder reached the edge of a strange nebula. Thick clouds of energy blocked the scanners. No one knew what was inside, but the signal came from there. They had no choice. The ship entered the storm. Lightning danced across the shields. Systems flickered. For 2 hours they moved through the storm. Then, suddenly, the storm vanished. In front of them, a planet. Green, blue, alive. The planet had cities, lights, satellites in orbit. Lieutenant Juno gasped. That's human tech." Captain Ward whispered, "Epsilon Prime survived." A message came through. Clear, calm. "Welcome home, Earth. We've been waiting." The landing site was already prepared. A tall woman stood at the edge of the landing platform. She wore black armor with a silver eagle, an old Earth symbol from the 22nd century. Her eyes were sharp. Her voice was steady. "I am Commander Lyra Voss of the Prime Defense League. Welcome to Epsilon Prime." She told the Earth team the truth. 3 centuries ago, the colony had lost contact with Earth during a solar storm. The Council never sent help. No rescue ships came. So they built everything on their own. They survived, and they changed. They created new energy weapons, built hidden cities under mountains. Their children were trained as warriors and scientists. "We knew one day someone would come," Lyra said. "We hoped it would be Earth, but we prepared in case it was someone else." Captain Ward asked, "Why contact us now?" Lyra's eyes turned cold. "Because we heard what the Council did. The silence, the attacks. We still have spies. We still listen." Epsilon Prime knew Earth was in danger, and they were ready to fight. But there was something more. Commander Lyra showed them a large underground facility. Inside were hundreds of small ships, fast, invisible, armed. And in the center, a giant warship. Black metal, human-made, but far beyond anything Earth had. "This is the Revenant," she said, "built with technology we created in silence. She's waiting for a purpose." Captain Ward walked through the ship, his mind racing. "What do you want from Earth?" he asked. Commander Lyra answered with calm fire. "Not help, not orders. We want alliance. We want justice. We want the galaxy to remember. You don't leave humans behind." That night, as the stars shined, above Epsilon Prime, the humans from Earth and the lost colony made a decision. They would not beg for help. They would not run. They would not forget. They would strike back. And deep in the galactic core, the Council still believed Earth was weak and silent. They had no idea what was coming. Next part. Rise of the Iron Pact. What happens when scattered humans across the galaxy begin to unite? And what happens when the Council finally sees the storm rising? The message from Epsilon Prime was clear. We will not wait. We will not hide. Earth must rise. Back on Earth, Admiral Roya Hale stood in silence as the full transmission played. She watched the warship Revenant, the secret factories, the advanced weapons. Her voice was low, but strong. We're not alone anymore. Within days, secret channels opened. Earth's intelligence teams reached out to old colonies, deep space stations, hidden outposts. Anyone who had gone dark when the Council abandoned humanity. Some had survived, some were barely alive, but they all said the same thing. We remember. Slowly, the pieces came together. A hidden mining colony in the asteroid fields of Talon Reach offered rare crystals, perfect for starship reactors. An old prison moon, once cut off from Earth, had become a fortress. The inmates had formed a warrior society. A silent Earth war satellite lost for decades was found orbiting a dead planet. Its AI was still active and angry. Everywhere the Council had turned its back, humans had adapted, survived, changed. Admiral Hale called them together by message, by code, by secret link. We were scattered, she said. Now, we unite. And so, the Iron Pact was born. The Iron Pact was not a government, not a command. It was a promise, a pact, between every surviving human colony. We protect each other. We strike as one. We never forget who left us behind. Epsilon Prime offered their tech. Earth offered command. The other colonies offered firepower, stealth, speed, and secrets. In hidden shipyards, warships were built. Code names were whispered across the stars. Ghost Talon, Viper's Gate, Echo of Earth. Training began. Fighters, hackers, engineers, all ready to fight not for revenge, but for survival. Captain Elias Ward and Commander Lyra Voss became the face of the pact. He came from Earth. She came from the Lost. Together they were unstoppable. But while the Iron Pact grew, someone else was watching. Far across the galaxy, in the shining halls of the Council's capital world, a Sithari spy named Kaelon intercepted a message. He read it once, then again. It was short, dangerous, chilling. Iron Pact is forming. Epsilon Prime lives. Earth is not alone. Kaelon stood in front of the Council's High Assembly and warned them. Humans are organizing. They are angry. And they are preparing for war. But the Council laughed. Earth is weak, said one ambassador. They can't survive without us, said another. Kaelon spoke once more, slower this time. You left them to die. But they lived. Now they remember. The warning was ignored. Kaelon left the chamber in silence. He looked out over the stars and whispered, You should have finished what you started. Back in a secret part of the galaxy, the Iron Pact finished its first operation, Operation Silent Storm. 5 human ships, cloaked and silent, entered a Council-controlled planet where a forgotten human colony was being used as slave labor. In less than 7 minutes, the guards were gone, the humans rescued, and the entire alien station turned to ash. No one saw it coming. No one survived to report it. At the Iron Pact's hidden command center, the rescued colonists stood in tears. We thought we were forgotten, one man said. Captain Ward replied, You were, but not anymore. And far away, for the first time in many years, the Galactic Council received a message. Not from an ambassador, not from a trade partner, but from the Iron Pact. We are the ones you left behind. We are not asking for peace. We are warning you. We're coming. Kalan had served the Galactic Council for over 90 years. He was a Sithari. a species known for their cold logic and long memories. He believed in the Council, in its order and peace. But now, he wasn't sure. He had seen the message. He had studied the attacks. He had read the names of old human colonies, burned, erased, ignored, and now they were striking back. Kalan sat alone in his private chamber, staring at a secret recording, footage from the raid on planet Venthera 9. The alien guards were killed in seconds. Human slaves were rescued. The attackers moved like shadows. No flags, no warnings. But on the wall of the command center, just for a moment, Kalan saw something chilling. A burning symbol. An iron fist wrapped in flame. The symbol of the Iron Pact. The Council ignored him. They called him paranoid, emotional, weak, but Kalan knew what he had to do. He activated a hidden channel, one that hadn't been used in decades. It was dangerous, illegal, but he used it anyway. He sent a single message into deep space. I want to talk. I know the truth. The galaxy needs to hear it. He didn't know if anyone would answer, but someone did. On a hidden relay station in the asteroid field of Vexos Prime, a small device blinked. A human operative named Mara Flynn, one of the best intelligence agents of the Iron Pact, received Kalan's message. She didn't trust it. Could be a trap, she told Captain Ward. Or, Ward replied, it could be the first crack in the Council's armor. After heavy debate, the Iron Pact made a bold decision. They sent Mara, Flynn alone, to meet Kalan under deep cover in the neutral city of Threxil, a planet ruled by no species. A place of shadows, secrets, and spies. The meeting happened inside a dark tunnel under the city's market district. Both sides came unarmed. They sat in silence for a moment, then Kalan spoke. I know what the Council did. I know they turned. Their backs on your people. I want to stop the war before it begins. Mara watched him carefully. It already began, she said. You just didn't notice. Kalan nodded slowly. I want to help, but I need something from you. He offered her a crystal drive, one filled with Council secrets, maps of warship movements, names of spies, plans for new weapons, hidden files showing the Council knew humans were suffering, and chose to ignore it. Mara couldn't believe what she saw. This will change everything, she whispered. But the meeting was not as secret as they thought. High above Threxil, a hidden drone recorded the entire exchange. Someone inside the Council had followed Kalan, and now they had proof of his betrayal. That night, bounty hunters were sent. Kalan was marked for death, and Mara Flynn was now the most wanted human in the galaxy. She escaped Threxil using stolen codes and hidden tunnels. Kalan went with her. They boarded a smuggler's ship and jumped into deep space, chased by Council drones and patrol ships. It was a race against time. If they reached the Iron Pact base, the truth would be revealed. If they failed, the Council would bury their secrets forever. Inside the Iron Pact's hidden base, Admiral Roya Hale prepared for the worst. If they make it, she said, we go public. We tell every species the truth. If not, Captain, Ward finished her sentence. Then we go to war in the dark. As the Council prepared to silence the message, one thought haunted them. What if the galaxy finds out? What if the humans aren't the monsters? What if we are? Next part, truth, at gunpoint. The galaxy was on fire. Riots shook Council worlds. Ships refused orders. Old friends became silent. Enemies became louder. And at the center of it all was Earth. The truth had spread. Every race knew what the Council did. The silence. The lies. The suffering. And worst of all, how the Council let humans die to keep order. But Earth was no longer begging. The Iron Pact was done hiding. And Revenant was no longer just a symbol. It was humanity's answer. The Council launched its response. A massive fleet, 120 ships, was sent to Sector Vornis 3, where the Iron Pact was strongest. They planned to crush the rebellion in one brutal move. No mercy, no survivors. Their mistake? They thought the humans would run. Instead, the Pact stood and waited. At the edge of a dead system, the Iron Pact had chosen their battlefield. No civilians, no colonies, just dust, silence, and traps. Revenant led the charge, cloaked, silent, like death in the dark. The battle began with shock. Council sensors blinked, then died. Their communication systems jammed. Explosions tore through their flanks. Mines, hidden turrets, sabotage bots. Then came the warships. Not just Revenant, but Ghost Talon, Echo. Of Earth, Black Sky, and Hammerchild. Human ships moved faster, hit harder, disappeared before being targeted. Inside Revenant, Commander Voss gave the order. Cut their command. Burn their pride. Revenant jumped straight into the center of the Council fleet, appearing like a ghost among giants. Its main gun fired once. A Council dreadnought vanished, in fire. On the Council flagship Pride of Orax, Admiral Tarek screamed, "How are they doing this? They were scavengers!" But they weren't scavengers anymore. They were warriors, united, angry, brilliant. And this time, they had nothing to lose. The Council fleet broke apart. Some ships surrendered. Others tried to flee. A few kept fighting. But none could stop the Iron Pact. By the end of the day, 72 Council ships were gone. Thousands of alien officers were taken prisoner, and the Council's strongest fleet was ashes. Back on Earth, news of the victory reached every screen. People cried, cheered. Some couldn't believe it. A single message was broadcast from Revenant across the stars. To those who turned their backs, we are still here. To those who watched us suffer, we are coming. To those who stood with us, we remember you. But the war wasn't over. In the shadows of the ruined Council, something darker was rising. Desperate leaders gathered in secret. They spoke of weapons never used, of alliances with dangerous species, of burning Earth completely. And far from both Earth and the Council, a strange signal blinked in the void. Ancient, powerful, and not human. Not Council either. Something else. Had heard the screams of war. Next part, the last silence. One final twist. A force older than the Council, a weapon humanity forgot, and now must face. Can the Iron Pact survive what comes next? The war should have ended. The Council was broken. The truth was out. The galaxy had seen what humanity endured. And how. They struck back. But in the dark places of space, something had awakened. It started with a signal, ancient, deep, and cold. Not from the Council, not from Earth, not even from this galaxy. It was older, and it was listening, on the edge of known. Space. In the ruins of a forgotten station, Iron Pact scouts found something terrifying. A beacon, not human, not alien, not alive. It spoke only once. We watched you burn. Now, we rise again. And then, silence. Inside Revenant, Admiral Roya Hale stared at the data. "It's not a message," she whispered. "It's a warning, Commander." Voss looked at the map. "They were hiding, beyond the black wall, waiting." "For what?" Mara Flynn stepped forward. "For a reason to return." In a hidden Council vault, ancient files were unsealed. Long ago, before the Council existed, another empire ruled the stars. Cold, ruthless, silent. They were wiped out by something they created and could not control. They called them the Nullborn. Machines, with no voice, no soul, no mercy, created to end war. They ended everything. The Council had buried the truth, and now, because of the chaos, the Nullborn had awoken. One by one, deep space colonies vanished. No distress calls, no escape pods. Just silence, not destruction, erasure. Revenant was sent to investigate. What they found was horrifying. A planet untouched from orbit, green, calm, peaceful. But on the ground, no life, not even bacteria. Every living thing had been erased, not killed, removed, like it never existed. The Iron Pact had to make a choice. Keep fighting the Council, or unite, human and alien alike, to stop the greater threat. Roya Hale stood before the Pact leaders. "We came back for justice," she said. "But now, we fight for survival." Kalon's words echoed in her mind, the say. Real war hasn't started yet. Surprisingly, some Council worlds reached out. Old enemies sent messages. "We were wrong. We need each other now." One by one, ships came. From Cytheri, Vosk, Terra lands, even from rogue mercenaries. For the first time in history, humans stood at the center of a true alliance, not as victims, not as rebels, but as leaders. And when the first Nullborn fleet arrived, black, silent, endless, the stars themselves seemed to dim. Revenant led the charge. Its hull burned with new armor, powered by hybrid tech, human-made and alien-enhanced. Its guns charged with energy from stars once forbidden to touch. No speeches, no mercy, only one message, carved into the side of the human flagship. You turned your back on us. Now we lead the last war. The final battle began, not for revenge, not even for justice, but to save every living world from the last silence.